was a very traumatic time for me in my life because although my mother spoke Spanish, it wasn't the first language at home, and here we were thrown in school in Puerto Rico, and we were there for quite some time, and I was, on a lot of levels, I was going through a kind of identity crisis. I didn't know where to fit in. The kids in school would call me Yankee and make fun of me, and I didn't know how to fit in. So I remember spending just a lot of time in the La Plaza en Ponce, donde está el Parque de Bombas, the plaza in Ponce, where there's a very famous firehouse, and I was there shining shoes, and that's where I spent 2.5 years getting into trouble, basically. But the reason why I bring this up is because although it seemed very traumatic for me at that time, it was, now looking back at it as an adult, it was the thing that formed my identity as a Puerto Rican. All of my roots, my sentidos about my sentiments about the culture and about our music and about family and about the history were all kind of formed during that very traumatic period as an adolescent. And my whole identity with the island really stems from that time. There's a whole period in my life where American culture did not exist. There's like a blank, when people ask questions about music, of the Beatles or something like that, because the Beatles were at that time. I don't have a conception of that because I was listening to Roberto Ledesma and Trio Los Panchos and Chucho Avellanet, and that was my life during that time. And again, traumatic and then we went back to New York and went to high school and college. But again, my identity with the island and La Mancha de Plátano se me quedó, it's my whole thing about being Puerto Rican is from that time. I was very influenced by teachers that kind of pushed me to the next level, that they saw that there was an interest, and just helped me to aspire to the next level. In high school, there was a teacher that took us to go see a lot of Broadway plays, and I often talk about the fact that Raul Julia, who was somebody that I saw during that time, was very influential in terms of me aspiring to be, kind of giving me permission to say it's okay, because I saw this guy on stage who my mother said, "Y tú sabes, ese muchacho, él es puertorriqueño, de Puerto Rico." And to see him do the kind of work that I was interested in doing, namely the classics, because Raul at that time was doing Shakespeare and Shaw and Pinter, and it didn't matter that his last name was Julia or that he had an accent, or he was just busting it up, doing a wonderful job. And it kind of, looking at him, kind of said, damn, I feel that way about this dream that I have of becoming an actor, and if he did it, maybe it might be possible for me. And when I did more research to find out that, to find out about Rita Moreno and Jose Ferrer, one of the first Latinos to win an Oscar, who all come from the island, all of those kind of things, again, gave me permission to aspire to say that this dream that I had some kind of validity. Becoming an actor and trying to enter into this industry, which is very competitive and very subjective, is not easy to begin with for anybody. And so then compounded by the fact that because of the way the mediums are, specifically more so film and television, that most of the roles during the time that I was entering in the business were more negative stereotypes, was something that I didn't feel good about, but at the same time you were aspiring to do something, and you're trying to find a way to navigate in this business that you're interested in. I think when people are looking at the red carpet and everybody's going, oh, it's really good to be nominated. But it is really good to be nominated. It's nice to win, but the whole aspect of being nominated by your peers, by people who are in the same industry, it's kind of an acknowledgement that you're going in the right direction in terms of what, your work, and you have some kind of integrity. So every time something like that happens, I just think that maybe it's going to open the door for the next kid in back of me who's trying to break down the doors.